She's like to come for rob me sometime.
I know who you are.
Oh yeah, who's that?
One of them Bond ramp boys. My daddy says you boys are the worst thing ever to hit Franklin.
You tell your daddy I said hi.
Hey guys, Lucas here again for another movie review. If you could tell by the intro, we got some new software and some new editing tricks. So my format's going to be a little bit different, but it's going to be a lot better. It's going to allow me to do a lot more things, so my videos are definitely going to improve technically. So that's very good. But today I went to go see Lawless, one of my most anticipated films of the year, starring my man crush Tom Hardy, my non-man crush Shia LaBeouf, and Guy Pearce. Besides the fact that Tom Hardy was in it, Lawless was one of my most anticipated of the year because I thought the trailers made it look excellent. I like the director John Hillcoat from what I've seen. I've seen The Proposition, which is a very good movie, and so I was definitely interested in seeing what he could do with you know, this Prohibition era period piece. And the only thing that really had me nervous was Shia LaBeouf for obvious reasons. The plot of Lawless is actually based on a supposed true story because it's based off a book by one of the Bondurant brothers, who are the characters in this film, and it takes place in 1930s Virginia during Prohibition, and there's these three brothers, Forrest, played by Tom Hardy, Jack, played by Shia LaBeouf, and Howard, played by Jason Clarke, if I'm correct. And they're moonshiners, bootleggers, and they pretty much are they're pretty much respected in their community of Franklin, and they even, you know, pay off the cops or give cops, you know, moonshine. They let them through. But then one day, Guy Pearce comes in as a deputy from Chicago, and he is one badass dude and doesn't like what they're doing. And as Tom Hardy once said, he thinks that
your punishment must be more severe.
Basically, he really doesn't like these guys. I would say I was a little disappointed with this movie, but that doesn't change the fact that this is a very solid movie. It's not one of the best movies of the year as I was expecting it to be, but it's the year of 2012. This year has been full of disappointments. There's a lot of good in this movie, to be sure. Tom Hardy, I mean, man, I love this guy. I mean, he's like, if I could ever meet this guy in person, he would be like on the #1 of my celebrities to meet. He brings his frickin' A game to everything he's in, whether it be the fantastic villain of Bane or Forrest Bondurant in this movie. And the guy, whatever he's in, he has such a screen present, and the guy is pretty jacked. You could tell that he was filming this around the time he was filming Dark Knight, and he actually even sounds like a Southern Bane in the movie. Shia LaBeouf was actually pretty good as well, and I was very nervous about him. I felt that he was the weakest character out of all the characters in the film, but I'll get back to that later. But for what he had, I thought he actually delivered a pretty good performance. Not enough to make me fully change my mind about him yet, but this is definitely a good start. And Jason Clarke, who I've never really heard of before, was also very good. Lawless also has a great camaraderie between the brothers. They definitely have a brotherly vibe in some scenes where you could definitely tell that they're a tight bond. They have a tight bond, and they actually had some good humor occasionally between each other, and I thought the casting was perfect for all of them, and they were very believable and was one of the strong suits of the movie. Also, I love this movie's brutality. There's some definitely bloody stuff in here, whether it be some tarring and feathering or some, you know, brass knuckle punching. It's all pretty brutal and is pretty fun to watch occasionally. While some others may squirm, I thought it was very entertaining, and especially when Tom Hardy was doing it. Tom Hardy, he's kind of like there's a living legend in the town that he's kind of indestructible, and when you see the movie, you'll know why. The movie had a pretty good soundtrack, especially whatever song they used in the opening credits. I really liked a lot. It fit the mood, it fit the time period, and I really liked the way that the movie looked. It didn't look like a set. Like a lot of, when I watched like a western or some period pieces, you could definitely tell this is a set. I actually felt like they went to a lot of real locations and shot this, and it made for a more believable movie. And the climax of this film is not only pretty entertaining, it's also very emotional at some points, and that's always great when you can mix like shootouts and action with emotion. That's definitely the best kind of resolution. I thought this movie handled that great. Lawless does have a lot of minor problems that prevent me from really loving it like I want to. One is that there's a lot of coincidences in the movie. I wouldn't say a lot, but there's like 2 or 3 coincidences that you have to really buy in order to join. And if you've seen the movie, you might be expecting something else. I won't spoil it here, but it's a couple of things involving Tom Hardy's character. And that wasn't really my problem. There was one scene that I had kind of an issue with involving Jessica Chastain's character. But if you see the movie, you might know what I'm talking about, but I don't want to spoil it on here. Also, when I said Shia LaBeouf was the least interesting character to me, it felt like he was very repetitive, like a lot of scenes, like he would try to be proving something to one of his brothers, and then he goes off like crying or sulking, and then there was times where, you know, he got slapped around, and then it felt very actory. It felt like he was overreacting in some scenes. And I think that a lot of that repetition was due to the writing. So I thought he did pretty good in the movie for what he was given. But he cries and sulks in this movie as much as he screams in the Transformers series. The film does have a few slow points, like in the middle. There's like a 10-15 minute section where not a lot's happening. You're still pretty entertained, but it was starting to lose me, and then luckily it picks up, and that was really the only time. There's one or two other times where I felt like, okay, this could speed up a little bit, but for the most part, I thought the pacing was very well done. And Guy Pearce, he's such a slimy bastard in this movie, and I thought he was very intimidating. Whenever he was on, he got the whole crowd very tense. I could tell. I was definitely, because you don't know what he's going to do next. He's very unpredictable. But I didn't feel like he was that interesting. He has some cool character quirks, like he's kind of like a germaphobe almost, because like whenever he gets blood on him, he's kind of disgusted. He's like a neat freak. He has like his hair combed back and stuff. But besides his sheer brutality in some points, I never thought he was super interesting like a Tom Hardy character. And I felt like there wasn't really enough of him to make me really feel that interested in him, even if there was something interesting in him to really kind of care about. Overall, though, I would say Lawless is a very solid movie, just a little bit disappointing for me, but my expectations were definitely higher than others, so if you're just going in wanting a good time, you're definitely going to like it, probably like it even more than I did, and I enjoyed it very much. But I don't know if it'll be for any Oscars. I know they're saying this might be one of the first Oscar contenders of the year. I don't think there'll be anything really, but I think it's a very solid movie. It's a very entertaining movie, and it's got some really good performances, so I would definitely say check it out, and I'm going to give it 3.5 stars out of 5. Also, real quick, I wanted to give out a shout-out to a YouTube channel called Take the First Step. I'm going to put their channel link in the description or here, you know, whenever one you could click on here. I'll put an annotation somewhere because there's a great guy on there, Raul. He's helped me out with a lot of stuff. He's one of the reasons why I have these new tools to my disposal for my videos. And if you ever need help with anything, whether it be, you know, Google, YouTube, FormSpring, WordPress, anything web-related, go to Take the First Step, and you can either find a video or you can write him, and he'll probably help you. So definitely check that channel out. They're great. Anyway, guys, that's my review of Lawless. Thanks for watching, and see you guys later.